And the first award category is Companies Taking Climate Action. 2019 is on track to be the hottest year ever recorded, and this award recognises innovative and significant ways that companies are addressing the climate change crisis. Here now are the shortlisted films for you, and thanks to, in particular, to Carl Mason for lending his voice to tonight's video compilations.
The nominees for the 2019 Companies Taking Climate Action Award were Environmental Defence Fund and Innovating to Save the Monarch Butterfly.
Seeing this kind of prairie habitat and all the monarchs flying around and using the plants there, it makes me optimistic for the future because it works on this farm. It's beautiful, it's productive, it's helping the farmer, it's creating a more resilient agricultural system. This kind of habitat can be replicated in many other places across the agricultural landscape.
Oleko, and introducing Oleko's Climate Emergency Service.
The food waste is collected and dropped off at anaerobic digestion plants. There it is broken down into natural gas and turned into heat and electricity.
After generating renewable energy, the food waste is converted to organic fertilizers that further reduce our reliance on fossil fuels.
Recently we were awarded a Royal Warrant. One major qualifier of getting that Royal Warrant was our contribution to sustainability.
Tequila Herradura and Zero Waste at Casa Herradura.
Entonces, por supuesto, la verdad es un orgullo el que las horas que paso trabajando pueden tener un impacto que no solamente abarca la empresa, sino que abarca más allá de nuestras cuatro paredes y influye positivamente en las personas de la comunidad.
And finally, Silverback, World Economic Forum and WWF for how underwater farming could revolutionize food production.
I mean, when I started this, I was getting laughed off the docks. There's no question about it. Who wants to grow vegetables underwater? Over time, I think there's been more interest because there's less fish. We've requested to start farms in every coastal state in North America, 20 countries around the world. There's sort of this tsunami of support.
And to announce then the winner of the Companies Taking Climate Action Award, can I welcome now to the stage Andrew Wilson, Executive Director, Purpose at Edelman and member too of the awards judging panel.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I'm delighted to announce the award for the winner of Companies Taking Climate Action goes to Silverback, the World Economic Forum and WWF for their film How Underwater Farming Could Revolutionise Food Production. Can I invite Silverback, the World Economic Forum and WWF to come to the stage to receive their award as we watch another clip of their winning film.
While I was in the Bering Sea, on the trawlers, the cod stocks crashed back home in Newfoundland, where I was from. And, thousands of people thrown out of work, boats beached, canneries emptied. And I think that's where I began to understand that sort of there'll be no jobs on a dead planet. And, I'm not an environmentalist. I'm a hunter. The goal is to die in my boat one day, right? And to die in my boat one day working, the oceans have to stay alive. Right? So suddenly, my job as a fisherman isn't to chase fish. It's no longer to be a hunter-gatherer, but rather encourage, sort of be a steward of Mother Nature's. Imagine an underwater garden where you have a whole mix of species growing below the surface.
Thank you so much. As you can tell, it was very much a team operation, this one.
A huge team of people, more than actually the people I've just brought on stage now. Many couldn't be here tonight. Because this film is one of a strand that we put together, a strand of films that Silverback Films made in collaboration with WWF and the World Economic Forum as part of a larger Our Planet project, which was commissioned by Netflix. So this strand, Pioneers for Our Planet, it showcases the ingenuity of individuals like Bren, companies and communities around the world who are challenging the status quo and transforming the way that they do what they do. These pioneers, they all have real-world solutions that will lead entire industries and societies to a much more sustainable future. That was the goal that we went for when we were trying to capture these individual stories. And as a team, I think we recognised that while stories of environmental degradation are now cutting through to a mainstream audience and having real impact of fear and anxiety and a desire for change, this is actually not being matched by stories of hope and optimism, stories that actually generate a sense of agency. So these pioneers already have the answers that we need. And what's more, their solutions are not a return to the dark ages, but will actually make us healthier and happier. So finally, a huge thank you to everyone who's been a part of this journey, far too many, as I say, to mention, but also a massive thank you to TBE for recognising the work that we've been doing. Thank you.
Broadcast and communications landscape has really changed dramatically in recent years, and the challenge for TBE is how do we engage with this new reality in a way that will best drive change? Because the reality is we don't have time to waste. We must act now and we must act quickly. And I fundamentally believe that film has a hugely important role to play in helping people understand and engage and be inspired to act about the huge environmental challenges that are facing our planet. I've always been a storyteller at heart, and throughout my entire career I've worked using storytelling to try to explain and understand and engage people with what's happening in the world. We had a hugely impressive number of entries and quality of entries this year, and I think the importance of this award is that it celebrates what business is doing to help change the world. And if you look at the massive change that our world has undergone in recent decades, everything from cell phone technology to the internet, those changes have really largely been driven by business. And I think that when we look at how are we going to tackle the huge challenges that our planet are facing, that business has a hugely important role in helping us do that. And I think it's really important that those stories are told, because if people can understand actually the positive contribution that business is making, I think that will help them understand actually what kind of world we might live in if we actually successfully solve the many challenges that we're facing. I think if you look at the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which are a really fabulous set of indicators and goals across everything from social development to the environmental ones underpin everything else. And actually, those are the ones we're doing worst on. And if we can't figure out how we can live more healthily with our planet, actually all of the progress that we've made in all of the other areas, from gender equality to education to health, will ultimately collapse. And so I think that's why we have to renew our focus and emphasis on what we can do to make sure that we're living in harmony with the planet that we call home, and not just destroying it today at the cost of tomorrow.